radon is a gas that comes up from the earth through the natural breakdown of uranium in the ground. And radon is going to be in the air around you all the time. So it's outside, it's inside. Where we get a problem with radon is when we're in our homes, we're not venting it out. So when you're outdoors, it comes up from the ground, it gets dispersed into the atmosphere, and it's not a problem. When it comes up and builds up in your house, like all the cold that we've had recently, we've been keeping them doors and windows tightly closed and shut. So, we're not letting that heat out, but we're also keeping that radon gas in our home.
It will seep into your house through cracks and other forms through your crawl space.
So whenever it builds up over time, it can get to dangerous levels. And unless you know how much radon you have in your home, it's a problem if you get above EPA recommended level of 4 picocuries per liter, and it's measured in picocuries per liter. And just remember, 4 is the magic number. If you're below 4, you can consider mitigation, but if you're above 4, you really want to look at having your home mitigated. You can't see, smell, or taste radon. What happens with radon is during the decay process, the alpha particle, when it's in your lungs, when it strikes, alpha particles are very easy to block, like your skin will block it. It can't go through a piece of paper. But when it's internal, like inside your lungs, when you're breathing it in and out, whenever that alpha particle hits your villi in your lung, it can cause damage to your villi. And whenever that villi regenerates, it can regenerate in a cancerous regeneration instead of being a normal tissue. Whenever it rebuilds itself, you could have cancer from it. So what we're looking at is the number 2 leading cause of lung cancer, and behind smoking being number 1. What we also have is, if you are currently a smoker, you're actually at a 10 times more risk of having lung cancer if you have a high radon problem and smoking, because your lungs are already damaged and you're creating more damage with the environment of radon gas along with smoking. So we want to make sure we look at both of those. The short-term charcoal test is activated charcoal. You sit it in your home, and the minimum time frame is 2 days, and we recommend up to 4 days, 2 days to 4 days. During that time, the activated charcoal is going to absorb what's it around, and so the radon that is in that environment will be absorbed by that charcoal, and then you send that test to the lab, and they will tell you how much radon was in that sample, which will show you during that time frame that you were testing, over that 2 to 4 day window, how much radon was in that area that you tested. One of the things that we recommend is, if you do get a high test, which is something above 4 picocuries per liter, we recommend that you do another test to verify that. And if your test is extremely high, then really this need for a second test wouldn't be necessary, because if you've got a extremely high number, you need to go ahead and mitigating. If you do a test during the winter and it's not a problem, you want to make sure you test again during the summer, because of the climate changes, you will have a difference in radon levels. So radon is not a consistent number. It actually fluctuates during the day and night. It ramps up during the night, and it usually lowers during the day, but it's not like I have one specific number for radon. It fluctuates with different weather systems that come through, with different temperatures. So there's a lot of variables that go into how much radon's in your home. You have a lot more rock in that area. When our first part starts about Shelby County, Jefferson, that's the foothill of the Appalachians. And along the top of the state, you have the Tennessee Shale, and you have a lot more rock, and a lot more rock. Uranium is in rock. And so with the breakdown of that rocky soil, you have a higher concentration of radon in that rocky soil. That's why we see in our state map, when you go down toward Mobile, you're getting closer to the beach, the geology changes to more of a clay and then sandy soil. And so your radon levels go down a bit because of what's the geology there, and you don't have as much uranium in the ground. but you could have an issue from building materials. And so the rocks that went into the concrete or that went into the walls, it could have high levels in it. So just because you're in a zone 1 or a zone 2 doesn't mean you don't need to test. But if you're in a zone 3 with a rocky soil, and you definitely need to know how much you have in your home.
Yeah, so essentially, you first have to figure out what type of house, foundation the house is sitting on. If it's sitting on a slab home, which is getting more and more common in Madison County, then what we'll do is go into the slab and we actually drill um, anywhere between a 4 to 6 inch hole in the slab and stick a pipe in there inside that hole, and then it's run to either the outside by either outside the house or in the attic, and then we attach a fan there. What that fan does is it runs 24/7 continuously, and basically kind of creating a negative pressure that sucks out the radon from under the slab before it can come inside your house and expels it to the air. Everything, pretty much every county that touches Madison County is categorized as red, just a hot area, and it doesn't differ too much between crawl spaces, basements, slabs. Um, it depends more on where you are, I guess, where your house ends up sitting at and how much gas is coming through. It differs. On a slab side of things, it's going to take anywhere between 4 to 6 hours, give or take, and on crawl spaces, it's a good day's work. I mean, you're looking at an 8 to 10 hour day if you're doing it all in one day. The EPA recommends testing your home. If you've never had a high radon reading, it recommends testing every 5 years. Once you've had a high reading and you have a system installed, the EPA recommends you actually test every 2 years, or any time that you do any type of mass or remodeling, new HVAC, new windows, roof, anything that can change pressure inside your home. We recommend you retest them because it could affect how much gas is coming in or out of the house.